Hello and welcome back to the garage. Today we're going to do something a little different and talk about this new idea 404 hay rake. Hopefully the wind doesn't screw my audio up too much, but let's get into it. So what we have here is a unknown year. I've actually never looked up the serial number. New idea 404. If anybody's familiar with these, could you tell me why that's upside down? And also something else somebody might notice, there's only 4 wheels on this wheel rake. Might ask why? It's because one's missing. I've wanted a wheel rake for a couple of years now, and I've never actually owned one of these before. Growing up, I used V rakes and I used bar rakes. I've never used a inline wheel rake. So if anybody's any advice on how to run these, please let me know. I'm going to be running it here in a few days. My plan is to run it just as it sets, where the tires are set, where this is set. The tire holds there for about a day. Got a new one on the way, but don't be here in time. But overall, these seem like fairly simple machines to me. Obviously, you've got a grease zerk there, grease zerk there. That's it for these. I just went through and kind of greased the hell out of these. I've got, I think, 11 teeth missing. I've got 13 because that's what they had at the store, and I figure I'm going to break more in the future. But yeah, that is the 404 wheel rake. Like I said, if anybody, there's mixed reviews on these. Some people say they're awful. Some people say they're the best rake they've ever had. Everybody always says, though, it's all about how you have it set up. I've never used one of these. I'm going to try to make a video going over how it works for me. I feel like the information on YouTube about wheel rakes is very, very limited. And I'd like to try to answer some of the same questions I have when if somebody else is looking into getting into one of these. So I'm gonna be honest right now, you can pick one of these things up real cheap. Sub $200, not a crazy buy at all in my opinion. I know, so I'll be honest, I bought this thing at an auction. It was one of the last things to sell, 50 bucks. I pulled it home. Like I said, I know that tire hold air for a day. It was flat the day I went and looked at it, so I knew it had a leak. Day of the auction, they aired it up and it held air. I think that auction started at 8-ish, 10-ish, I don't remember. I didn't get home till late that evening, so, and it was close to my home. So I knew that tire hold air for the whole day of raking. Not worried about that. And I know I got spring teeth to replace those 11 that are broken, so I'm not worried about that. Everything's greased, everything's turned. If anybody's curious what I looked for, I guess, was that exactly. Does everything look like it's been greased or maintained? Every zerk on here looks like it has had grease not too long ago. As you can tell, right there is the piece that indicates that there did used to be another wheel on here, not to mention there is a chain over there on that bolt as well. So it was originally a 5-wheel. The owners never really told me what happened. I'm assuming somebody ripped it off. Don't know how, never asked. I don't know if you can turn too hard on one of these or run it too low and that'll have it happen or what. But that's kind of why I'm here asking people for knowledge that I don't have about one of these. And as I go through using one of these, I'm going to try to give someone the knowledge I get. I can't promise it's going to be great, and I can't promise there's going to be much, but I'm going to do what I can. That'll probably be the next video coming up after this one, I think, because like I said, I'm raking hay with this thing, if not tomorrow, in 2 days. If it doesn't work out, then I'll switch back to the bar rake. I've just never been a huge fan of bar rakes. Like I said, growing up, we had V rakes, which in my eyes is half of one of these, and I really liked those. However, they had the new style of teeth on them than wheel. That's something else I am curious about, is I know this thing has wires on almost all of those spokes that I'm assuming used to hold on those covers that would go on there. How important are those? Like I said, I'm going to run it like it is without them, and we're going to see what happens. Like I said, I do know the only issue I have, though, is I'm missing a wheel, those covers, and I've got a tire that's flat, and I actually have a new one coming. It just won't be here before I need to use this. So yeah, that's pretty much the quick and dirty about this rake. If anybody has any advice, anything like that, let me know. Like I said, there's a few things, if we can kind of go into the purchasing side of it, what I looked for. I know I did a brief rundown on, tires. This one, pretty good. No dry rot, no cracks. Tongue, pretty good. You can tell a tire has rubbed it a few times, but that's all right. These wheels, most of these guys are on here. These teeth are actually like $5 a piece now. I found some on sale, and I think I spent just under $2. Yeah, everything turns good. The wheels all turned good. Luckily, I went to the auction a few days early and I checked out a lot of stuff. I was gonna tell everything was greased before. I checked this guy out. I just smeared the grease on there and ran him up and down, but everything turns easy. Like, you know, it's not like I have to really try hard to turn this thing. I can just put a finger on it and it'll turn. That's the kind of stuff I guess I was looking for. If all the moving parts move freely, because I didn't really want a project. I was hoping to have something to use this year. And so what we ended up with. Yeah, basically things that spin should spin. These are pretty simple rakes. Those all spin. Those guys 2 spins spin. Those are rubber. They're round. And that guy spins. To be honest, that's 4. I'm gonna try to get out of the wind over here. But yeah, kind of more looking for advice on these, because even if it doesn't work out well the first time I use it, I don't just want to give up on this thing. Like I said, if I've got rain coming, which is normal for making hay, but I want to get all this done, and then if I need to change things on this, I can. I know the owners told me briefly before I left with it, because I didn't get a chance to talk to them at the auction about it, that it worked really well for them. I'm not sure if that's when it had 4 wheels or 5 wheels, but they did say this was a really good rake for them. So my hope is that the setup on it is already complete, essentially, and it should be set to where it should work well. And luckily I know that it's missing the wheel, so if I think it's not reaching out far enough, and that's the factor that I don't like, well, that's because it's supposed to have another wheel. Like I said, you can find these rakes fairly cheap. Like I said, I spent $50 on this one, which is a steal. But I've been seeing, I went and looked at 2 prior to this that were sub $200. They were just a little rougher than I wanted, so I really wasn't willing to spend the money. I know of another one that's complete, has those inserts, everything, but it's a few hours away. And these things are wide enough, they won't fit on my trailer. I don't know if you could mess with the tongue and the wheel configuration and make it fit on a trailer, but I don't really want to deal with that if I don't have to. That one was sub 200. There's a lot around, and that's what I should specify too. That is without a hydraulic cylinder or anything like that. The reason I also wanted to know hydraulic cylinders because my John Deere 40 doesn't have hydraulics. I don't know if it's going to rake this time because I haven't had a chance to service it yet. So the Ford is probably going to be the main tractor in all of it this go around. But yeah, now I'm no longer borrowing a rake from anybody, which I do know I told them I'm going to go through theirs, fix everything up on it, change gearbox oil, stuff like that on the bar rake, because it needs done. It needed done when I started using it, and it still needs done. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for them, because I know if I ever need it, I can borrow it again, and I'd leave it better than how I originally got it. But I think that's going to be it for this one on the old wheel rake. Like I've said, if anybody has any suggestions of what to do, what not to do, how to run it, anything like that, sadly, I'm going to be done raking before this video goes out. However, in the future, it'd be great knowledge to have. Not to also mention that I'm going to try to make a video of me doing some raking with this thing, my experience, my thoughts, my feelings, my opinion. Take it or leave it. That's going to be the truth as far as I can say it. And if I'm doing something wrong while doing these things, I'd be more than happy to have somebody correct me so that I can use this thing or adjust things in the correct manner to make it work better if it's not working great. Like I said, we're being optimistic, hoping it's going to work great, because pessimistic isn't going to accomplish anything for me. So with that being said, we'll end it here. Thanks for watching. Till the next one.